Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I have an extra special message for you guys who are into getting to the end of your life feeling totally fulfilled because you've lived to your potential. And I'm talking all things personal development, and today I want to talk to you guys about one of the biggest and most empowering lessons I have personally ever learned on my own personal development journey. And basically, that's what we're going to be talking about today, which is all around the fact that there is not one, it's not a one size fits all when it comes to your personal development. And I am going to give you a really good map of what I consider to be the 3 keys to actually having your own tailored, personalized approach to personal development. And I'm going to talk about the importance of that. I'm going to talk about the stages of development in our personal development journeys, which will start us off, in this very kind of generalized way of developing ourselves, where it is kind of one size fits all, and it's kind of like, yeah, these are the steps to life, right? Or these are the ways that we all need to live our lives. And there's absolutely truth in all of those modalities and all of the kind of, broad brushed way of looking at our personal development. But at some point, you need to transcend the generalized approach of your personal development, because if you don't, you kind of end up in this space where there's still this kind of emptiness within. There's still this kind of hollow, this part of you that feels like you're not really reaching for your potential. And basically, it is, kind of what trips us up. So I hope this is working for you. All right, something funny happened on my screen. So today, what I want to talk to you guys about is really, if you find yourself in this position of you spend a lot of time on your personal development, please excuse my crazy nails. I'm not going nuts. I can't wait to take this off because it's driving me insane. But basically what I want to talk to you guys about is, do you ever find yourself really feeling like you're taking a lot of, pushing a lot of energy towards your personal development, and you're trying to be successful in your relationships, and you're trying to get find what your purpose is in life, and you're trying to, create balance in your life and really reach for fulfillment and freedom and potential, but you kind of feel like you're taking from this person and this person, and this person's telling you to do this, and then it's contradicting what this person over here is saying, and then you kind of feel like you're just on a bit of a hamster wheel, right? And you're just putting all this effort in, but not feeling like you're really getting somewhere. And all the time, there's kind of this inner part of you that just feels like something's off, right? And basically, this is where we have to be alerted to the fact that we must transcend the broad brush approach to personal development. And today what I want to talk to you guys about is actually why personal development isn't a one size fits all, right? If you want to really reach for your potential, and actually how to create your own personalized growth journey for you, right? Because what works for me and as an individual may not sit perfectly for you. In fact, it could actually take you off path. That's why what I like to do with all of these messages is not tell you this is the way to do it and chuck out all the rest. It's actually, I want to give you all the different perspectives that I come across, that I see work with different clients, that work with myself, that work with all these other amazing individuals in the world. And I want you to see what resonates with you so that you can go about following that path of resonance to see what really aligns with you, being the personal guinea pig in your own life, right? To test things and see what works and what doesn't work for you as an individual, and become your own leader, right? Through experience, through action, through testing, and through being open-minded enough to know that there might be a different option that is more well suited to you, even though your best friend over here got incredible results with their personal development down this path, all right? So, the reason, and I'm going to tell you what the 3 keys are, and it's taken me many, many years to actually work this stuff out for myself. And what I've been on a mission to discover is, how do we, knowing that personal development isn't just a one size fits all, that's why the same, this one group of people can take the same actions and get a vast, different results. It works for some people, doesn't work for others. we need to know some deeper things that make it more tailored to the individual. And so I literally have spent my life over the last coming on to 8 years now, going and immersing myself in all the different realms that I can fit myself into in personal development, from very cognitive approaches like neuro-linguistic programming or NLP, to more therapeutic approaches like psychotherapy, and all in between, and looking at the neuroscience of our personality traits and all sorts of things, right? And all the broad brush stuff that we do with Tony Robbins and all those incredible souls, right? And what I've come to get to this point of is I wanted to create a system that everybody, no matter how you're wired, no matter who you are, we have a system to tailor the approach to you, right? And basically, my end game is to make sure that I'm reaching my highest potential in life. And the way that I want to do that in the most fulfilling way for me is to help other people reach their potential too, and know full well that we're all different. And my personalized approach isn't necessarily going to be good for you, but let's have a system to discover and develop your unique pathway that is going to maximize your potential. And here's what I want to tell you. You guys know, who've been following me for a long time, you know what's my favorite topic? Relationships, right? And the reason why relationships is my favorite topic is because I really do feel like it's that area that has the greatest impact on whether we're going to reach our potential or not. And it started back in childhood. It started with the relationships that we had with our families, and then it graduated into our relationship with ourselves and our friends and our, people that we looked up to and aspired to be like, and all the rest of it, and all the kind of, the traumatic experiences that we collect, all the wounds that we collect. And basically then we end up, later on in our more adult life, we want to have that intimate partner, and we want to find the one who is supposedly going to save us and make our lives just brilliant, right? And what I see time and time again is that our relationships, most of us, the majority of us, unfortunately, are operating in our relationships not as actually the truth of who we are. And we are very, very defended. And this brings in the first key that will allow you to tailor a growth plan for you, right, as an individual. Now, I've spoken about this framework a number of times in my previous live videos. If you want me to link you up so you can get a bit of a deeper dive into this, I definitely will. So just drop me a comment. Don't have the time to go into every little detail in what I'm going to explain to you guys today, because it is like a life's work, right? It's not just my own. I stand on the shoulders of some incredible human beings over not only the last 50 or 70 years, but also actually it turns out that the first system I'm going to share with you guys today, it's actually been around for thousands of years. And so basically this is what's called the Enneagram. Now, why I wanted to start with the relationship element is because of our experiences in all of the relationships that we've had throughout our lives, beginning, as I said, with our parental figures, and then, expanding out from there. There is no perfect family, right? No matter how well-intentioned our parents or those who brought us into the world are, and how much they want for us to have the best in life, there's always dysfunction because we're human beings, right? And so even if we're the best, most well-intentioned parents, we're still going to create some emotional wounding for our children, right? Unbeknownst to us. And, obviously there's the other side of the spectrum where people, do consciously abuse, all right, as well. But basically what that did at very young ages, because of how we're wired in our core self, which I'll get to next, we actually developed these defensive strategies, and they kind of take over our personality when we have a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of unhealed stuff that we haven't moved through. And basically we operate in these defensive strategies, and they can be looked at in the framework of what's called the Enneagram. And basically the Enneagram is 9 key personality defensive strategies. So they're not who you are. They're just one of the defensive strategies that you chose to adopt in order to keep yourself safe and secure at a young age. And basically what happens is we carry on these defensive strategies. And unfortunately, what most happens is as time goes on, particularly if we're not working on ourselves in the personal development and emotional healing realm, basically our defensive strategies get stronger and stronger and stronger as we get more and more impacted and wounded. We have more and more need, we feel, to protect ourselves and guard ourselves. And so these personality defensive systems become very, very strong. And this is what creates that sense of, I just feel like there's something missing, right? Like, I feel like I've got maybe everything that I need. Maybe I'm protected. Maybe I've got my security needs. Maybe I've got the house. Maybe I got the family, the relationship, or whatever, but why am I so empty? Why am I so unfulfilled? And basically it's because we've been operating in this defensive strategy. Now, we do not all share the same defensive strategy. As I mentioned, there are 9 different versions of this. And then the deeper we go, there's actually 3 versions of each of the 9 versions. And it can even go deeper than that. But we don't need to do that in order to get the value and the direction and the clarity for you to break free. All right. And all of these systems that I'm going to mention to you, they're all about fast tracking your success to break through to freedom and fulfillment that is uniquely wired for you. All right. And so the quicker we can identify ourselves in these systems, don't know what that beeping is. Hope the house isn't burning down. But the quicker we can define ourselves and see ourselves in these particular systems, is it's actually helping us to fast track our freedom and break through from the parts of us that are not us, but we're just engaged as defensive strategies. So that's key one, right? Like, we all have a defensive strategy, and particularly if we haven't been doing our own personal development journey, and we haven't particularly doing the emotional healing, which I'll talk to you about the importance of that in a moment as well. We're operating in this personality that is not actually us at all, and it's actually keeping our core and true self hidden, our full potential, and where our fulfillment would lay if we followed that direction. And basically it's what creates all the tension, all the drama, all the unfulfillment, all the pain. It just perpetuates this cycle, albeit that it's a defensive strategy or system that's trying to protect us. Right? So that's the first key that we need to understand in order to create our own tailored approach to personal development to reach our potential that's unique to us, right, as the individual. Now, the second part is our core and our true self. And I use a version of personality profiling to actually give people access to their true self behind the defensive system. Now, basically, your true self is your wiring. We can look at the neuroscience of personality and we can identify what your unique gifts and strengths and talents are, where they lie, so that you can go about focusing and channeling your energy into the development of those particular talents and gifts and strengths that are all cognitive, that are all based on the neuroscience of what's actually going on there. And basically, this gives you your tailored map to what your greatest strengths are about who you are. And basically in this system, we look at what your genius style is, right? And that has its own unique growth path. And basically there's 16 different types, but they're unique. So you're going to be in one of those 16 categories. After you've already identified yourself in one of the 9 defensive strategies, which are, they're the walls that are hiding your core or your true self, then we want to identify, okay, so we've got that part of your map. Now we want to look at the part of your map that points you towards your core true self, who you actually are, what gifts you have to contribute to the world, what path you should take in terms of your purpose, your mission in the world, in order to create maximized fulfillment and have maximal freedom and ultimately contribute at the highest level, all right, to the rest of the world, right, as you and your gifts. And so once we've identified the key 1 and key 2, your defensive strategies, it's hiding your core self, and your true core self and how to align with that and grow within that, then basically we want to look at, there's going to be conflicts between those two strategies or systems that you've got in place, and we look at those, and then we help guide you on your, like, this actually answers the question, why the hell do I keep sabotaging my success, right? Why do I keep doing the things that I know aren't good for me, right? Why do I have all these different things going on? And basically we can look at, any addictions that we have, addictions and, things that, and habits that we have that are less than healthy are basically an employment of our defensive strategy when things aren't working out for us, right? And it's kind of the next layer. So by understanding how you are uniquely wired defensively and at your core self, basically this gives you the greatest map for you to become your absolute best self and free yourself from all the question marks that you have, all the, trying to figure things out and never really feeling like you're getting anywhere. This gives you all of the answers. And basically, in order to close the gap between where you currently are in all of those defensive strategies towards your absolute highest, truest core self that's unique to your wiring, basically a big part of the map and the journey there is through emotional healing. Now, why? As you guys who've been following me for a while know, I've said a few times, I wanted to skip over the emotional side of things, right? Like before I knew personal development existed and I went through some major life transitions, I did go and see a psychologist, which was super helpful to talk things out. But I got to a point where I felt like we were just going around in circles and like I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. And in actual fact, it actually went backwards. It actually felt like it was creating, I'd go into a session feeling pretty good with, where I was at, and then would drudge up again and again and again. And I just felt like I'd leave the session worse off than I started, right? It got to this point where it was just going backwards. And so that experience, albeit that it did support me in a number of ways, and I'm not bagging on psychology, believe me, right? I believe it has its place, absolutely, and it's key. But basically, my experience with it at that point kind of made me throw it out the window and was like, you know what? Like, I kind of want to lean towards more of the Tony Robbins mentality of like, we get to choose our emotional states and I feel empowered and I know I'm in control and I can do all this stuff and I can think positive and I can look at the future and create my goals, right? And that was the next stage of development. But now what it is it's coming back to this more integrated approach and realizing that actually it's the feeling through and the identification of emotions that are connected to our past experiences and traumas and wounding, particularly from our younger ages, that actually holds the key to your freedom. Because what most of us try and do is we try and get really analytical and we try and get really cognitive about it, and we want to analyze our problems away and we want to read the next book and we want to do all that stuff and we want to try and like use our willpower and consciously say, I'm going to stop that and I'm going to start this better habit or whatever. And why is it that we trip ourselves up? It's because our defensive strategies are playing the game. They're automatic and we can't shut them off with the 5% of our mind that is cognitively consciously aware. All right. And so basically our defensive system needs to be accessed through our emotional system or the right hemisphere of the brain. All right. And so most of us want to skip over that part because we don't want to go there. We want to avoid the pain. We want to run away from it. We want to forget about it. But at the end of the day, you can't, right? It's situated in your body and you carry it with you everywhere you go. And it is orchestrating your defensive strategies that are creating all the pain and the turmoil, not only in your relationships, but in any area of your life, and particularly in the area of your own self-esteem. Because we can't actually build our self-esteem when we're stuck in our defensive strategies because they're not even who we are. And how can we esteem and love and accept ourselves when we're not being ourselves and we don't know who the hell we are, right? So emotional healing is the pathway, right, to getting out of the defensive strategy and having that being the driver's seat and actually switch places with your core true self and your growth journeys involved with that. Now, all of this work is incredibly deep work. It is incredibly powerful, and it doesn't have to take years and years of your life like a lot of other modalities, right? I do believe in constantly and never-ending growth, right? Like Tony Robbins would say, for the rest of our lives, I always think there's another layer. I don't think we ever perfectly make it. And that excites me because I know there's always a new level of growth and development and potential and fulfillment and freedom available, right? And so, but what we want to do is we want to get all that stuff that keeps tripping us up off the path that we are clarifying and getting more and more clear about how inspired we would be to and fulfilled we would be to actually access it. We need to get rid of or cut the cords with the things that are actually holding us back. And not by avoiding or running away from anything. We actually need to face it. We actually need to glean the wisdom from it. And it does take some pretty deep internal work, and you do end up really needing some support to do it. You're not going to get it from a book, right? And so this is why I'm so passionate about the work that I do. And I would love nothing more than to introduce you guys to these keys and help you get your own personalized, tailored approach to your growth so that you can not just kind of keep spinning the wheels for years and years and years and try this, try that, off path, kind of that worked, and then you're moving, and then you're taking 2 steps back, and then you're sabotaging yourself, and then, not the sporadic roller coaster of personal development when we look at it with this one-size-fits-all approach, but actually to transcend that and to get your own personalized, tailored approach to your personal development journey. And just over this last week, I had a very inspiring conversation with a beautiful woman who actually inspired me to kind of give you guys a little bit of an opportunity, I'd say. So if you have ever considered or thought about coaching with me, I'm going to offer something very, very special that I've never done before. And it's quite a drastic discount on my normal pretty high coaching rates, right? And the reason is because I'm personally very inspired due to some personal things going on in my own life, and also the beautiful individuals that I have been connecting with more recently, and seeing the correlation of the struggles and really being so passionate and inspired about the system that I want to help and support you with breaking through and fast tracking your fulfillment and your freedom and your potential with. And so that's why I'm inspired to just offer this for people who would watch a video for this long with me, right? So if that is you and you have ever considered you would be interested in working one-on-one with me, maybe we've even had a conversation in the past. I've spoken to a lot of you guys before. Now would be the best available time to reach out to me. Send me an email to vanessa@vanessajanepatrick.com. Tell me you're in, you want to jump on a call with me, you want to find out what this special, incredibly special deal that I've got to make it as accessible as possible for those of you who are absolutely committed to taking action and being free once and for all from the hamster wheel of personal development, and you actually want to see massive results in your life. All right, so that would be the thing to do. And so you can do that. And I hope that today's message has inspired you to look at your own personal development, whether you want to do coaching or not. Look at your own personal development and go, how much of this is just kind of this one size fits all? Do I know what my unique defensive strategies are? Do I know what my unique core wiring and true self is? All right. And have I done the emotional work? Do I find myself constantly sabotaging myself, or just not moving forward or taking the action that would be inspiring, or kind of knowing within that I'm not giving life and love and all the areas of my life my absolute freaking best, right? Because whether or not people think from the outside, oh, you got it together, and you're going, well, you always know if there's that empty part in you. And I know that all too well. I lived the most of my life, the majority of my life, in that dark, empty place, kind of being, like this kind of empty shell, right? Like, from the outside, I got the smile, but there was just, I don't know, like so much emptiness, so much lack of fulfillment, all those sort of things going on. And now through my own personal journey and working with the hundreds of people that I have so far, I know now, like I've got this brilliant system that I really am passionate about helping people with, and I want to help people who are action takers, who are ready to take it to the next level, and you want to get serious results, all right, and actually fast track your own personal development journey for life, right? So that's it from me. I want to definitely check in with you guys. So have you got any questions or comments or words of wisdom that you want to contribute to today's message? I'd absolutely love to connect with you now. And if this message is of value and you know anybody in your life who could benefit from understanding, why they might be sabotaging themselves, tripping themselves up, maybe they're into personal development, but not really feeling like they're getting anywhere, then please do share this message with them. I'd love that. All right, so Aoni's in the house, and Jose, and Autumn, and Kenny, and Mary, and Paul, and Laura, and Justin. Nice words, thanks for sharing. You're always welcome, Justin. Grateful to have you here. Grateful that this resonated with you. And Jose, good to see you, my friend. Hi, Vanessa, thank you so much for this message. This is literally what I'm going through at this moment. Oh, I love that this has hit you exactly at the right timing there, Jose. Thank you so much for letting me know, and always great to see you. And greetings to you too, Brian. Great to see you back, my friend. And Samuel's in the house, awesome. And Jose. Vanessa, there are lots of motivational videos on media about personal self-development and creating better relationships. Why is it so difficult to apply it in life even when you do have the best advice? Do the positive affirmations and subliminal work to change the blockages. I love, love, love this question, Jose, so much, because the reason is what we're talking about today. You're right, there is so much brilliant, amazing access to knowledge and experts in the realm of relationships and all other areas, by the way. But what happens is it's not actually tailored to you. It's not being created based on your personal experiences. Because like I mentioned, you have a unique defensive strategy, all right? Okay, you also have a unique wiring in your neuroscience that gives you access to your greatest talents, strengths, and all the rest of it that is the most fulfilling path for you and your purpose and your potential. You also have unique emotional baggage, right? We've all had different nurturing involved. We've had different traumatic experiences, abuses, all the rest of it, all right, that are unique to you, right? That you must know in order to transcend and access your potential in all realms, particularly in relationships like we're talking about. And basically you have to do that personalized healing work. Now, I love books. I've got libraries and libraries of books. I love doing courses, all right? And they're next level in terms of, taking your personal development from the books off the shelf, right? And into an environment where you're pushed to take action. But I'm a really big, strong believer in having really personalized approaches to your personal development. And all the books, all the courses, all that stuff, that's like comfortable. That's like feeding your cognitive brain, right? To go, oh, now I get that and I understand that and I can analyze that and whatever. But in actual fact, like I mentioned, the real focus actually needs to be more in your emotional world, and that's actually in your subconscious. We've got to look at the right hemisphere of the brain. We've got to identify the defenses so that we can differentiate between who you actually are. We've got to identify the core self and what those defensive strategies are, right? Separate them from who you actually are. Most people aren't. Most people are fully taken over by the defensive strategies, or it's all intermeshed and it's very contradictive. It almost feels like we can have multiple personalities, right? And we need to know that for ourselves. And you can't do that in the comfort of your own home always, right? Reading a book, not having to take any risk. You have to be willing to go to war with finding out who you are, what stops you from being all of that you can be, and doing the work and the healing that's tailored to you and your personal experience to be able to break through. And, like that's why I'm passionate about this offer that I want to make for action takers who are willing to email me and let me know that you're interested in making a real breakthrough for the rest of your life. That's why I'm offering this kind of heavily discounted rate that I was inspired to offer somebody else this week just gone. And I felt like if I'm going to offer that to somebody, I feel like I'm going to offer it to people who would be watching a video like this, who are committed to breaking through once and for all, and really like understanding what's going on for them, doing the actual work to break through that so that they can free themselves up for the next level of their potential. All right. So the reason there, Jose, I hope that was a value, me sharing all of that with you. But basically, it's because knowledge is not enough. Knowledge feeds the cognitive side of our brain. It gives you the 5% that's trying to consciously create the goals and break through some information and some kind of knowledge. And, oh, I feel a bit better now because I understand that. But it's actually all of the subconscious, all of the defensive strategies that are blocking us and preventing us from moving forward. And those are automatic. You cannot stop them cognitively. You have to do the work. Trust me, if I could skip over all that stuff, I certainly would. And I thought I was fast tracking my success by skipping over that and reading more books and, feeding my cognitive brain. But in actual fact, that slowed me down. And now that I've been on that journey of doing the emotional work and having success with other clients, now I know for certain if you really want to fast track your success, you got to do the thing that you think is the long way, but it ends up being the shortest, most fulfilling way, and that's by doing the work. And that's why I wanted to make that offer for you guys. So if you are interested, Jose, I'd invite you to shoot me a message, say you're in, you want to jump on a call with me, and I'll fill you in on all the details. All right, love it. And Pete's in the house as well. Hey, Vanessa, how you been? I'm not really defensive, but it's just so hard to implement to change. Love it, Pete. I've been really well, and I hope that you have as well, my friend. And basically, we don't know that we're in our defensive strategies. So for instance, I'll give you an example. So in the Enneagram, I'm what's known as the type 3. And the type 3 is known as the achiever. And in our society, we're the society responds well to achievers, right? If you're going to be really great, you're going to achieve your goals, you're going to be really effective and efficient and reliable, and you're going to you're going to be successful and all these sorts of things. That's like what society wants from us, right? So that is actually my defensive strategy, to be busy, workaholic, and, driven to success and let other areas of my life, fall to the wayside, right? So it might look like I'm not being defensive, but actually on my own growth journey, that's quite different. Like there's some crossover with my true core self, but my true core self is actually much more about being empathetic to what's going on for individuals. How do we get everybody's needs met on a very emotional level? What's actually going on for people? How do we mediate the differences and bring people together, right? And get them accessing their potential. That's part of my core self and my wiring. That's why I do the work that I do. And when I get trapped in my overdrive, workaholic, do, like I forget about people, I forget about people's emotions, blah, blah, blah. That's actually my defensive strategy, albeit that other people could look at it and go, wow, Vanessa's she's got great work ethic, right? And that can be, appreciated and admired in our society. But it's actually my defensive strategy. And if I didn't understand that, I could most likely allow that. That's actually what happened to me in my life previous to discovering these systems, is basically that's what happened to me. I just became the workaholic. Okay, I'll just achieve. I'll just do law. I'll just do this. And it was taking me further and further away from my core true self, my greatest gifts, that I'm accessing now. And now when I get trapped into that cycle, I can differentiate between, is this being driven by my core true self that's going to lead me to fulfillment? Or is it an alert that I'm not looking at something in my life right now? I'm getting defensive. I'm trying to protect myself. I'm feeling terrified or whatever. And that's what it's alerting me to. So that's what I need to look at right now. And what healing is needing to take place, right? All those sorts of things. So although we think we're not being defensive, your particular style of defense is really just here to protect you. And the way that you know that you are operating from the defense system rather than the core true self is because there's going to be an emptiness available, and you're going to see, you feel like you just keep hitting the same wall, or, you know, there's lots of different ways to look at that, but there's going to be an emptiness, there's going to be a lack of fulfillment, and there's going to be feeling like a disconnect between who you really are and how you live in your life, right? Believe me, I know those feelings all too well. So hope that was helpful, Pete. Love having you here, my friend. And Jose, defenses are equal to comfort zone, or are we about just one decision to change completely our life? Okay, yeah, so our defensive strategies are what are supposed to be keeping us in a comfort zone, right? We're trying to keep safe. We're trying to prevent being emotionally hurt or abused, right? And basically what we do, and we're trying to protect almost like this really wounded inner child, right? And that can be seen as keeping ourselves in a comfort zone, because you cannot access your highest potential in life in any area if you're not bringing all of you to it. And it's very hard to bring all of you to it when, first of all, you're not fully aware of that core wiring, and secondly, you haven't done the emotional clearings and healings that would allow that wounded child to heal a bit, to allow you to take down some of those defenses so that your true core self can actually come forward to reach your potential. And so the majority of us are accessing this defensive strategy. We've over-identified with it. We're trying really, really hard to reach a potential in life and break through our problems, but we can't seem to do it. We keep sabotaging our success, and we keep feeling that emptiness, like we've got more to experience and give and create and love and all that rest of it, but we just can't see the walls in front of us, all right? And so there is a kind of correlation with the defenses and the comfort zone, like you're saying, but we all know comfort zones become very uncomfortable, right? Might feel like we're safe, right? But actually we're, you know, like Tony Robbins would say, you know, the very walls that you built to protect you become the walls that end up imprisoning you, all right? And that's basically what's happening there. And yep, we're always a decision away from changing our lives completely, but we can't skip over self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation to all lasting transformation. Don't forget that, all right? And so we have to be willing to go into the darkness, which is our defensive strategies, which is the shadow work, right? We have to be willing to go there in order to bring out the light consciously and consistently. All right, so I hope that answered your question there, Jose. So appreciate you, my friend. And Jerry's in the house, awesome. And Bill's here, great. And Ravi and Samuel. I'm using a point system at the moment for parts of my life. I want to improve. So for example, 0.5 point for meditation, 0.5 point for walking or fitness, then relationship points, financial ones. I try and achieve a certain number per day like a game. It helps me. I love that you just gamified your personal development. That's a great strategy, because I love that you do that, Samuel, and I love that you brought that up, because what happens is, and I love that, you know, you can give yourself points, right? Because basically, if you think about it this way, we all respond to reward and pain, right? But I like to think about it this way. If you were your own boss, right? And you were treating yourself like nothing was ever good enough, you should have done that anyway, so you don't get any appreciation. Oh, you're in minus points, blah, blah, blah. How motivated and inspired are you to give your all in that direction where you're not appreciated and you're criticized, judged, all the rest of it? Not very, right? And on the flip side of that, if you have a boss who's constantly rewarding you every step of the way, going, you're freaking awesome, cheering you on. Yes, that was amazing. Thanks for the contribution. I'm so impressed by how you operate. You're great at this, right? And gratitude and appreciation. You're absolutely inspired to give more and more and more and kind of live up to the ideal there, right? And so how we treat ourselves in this own inner relationship is no different. So having something that may be giving you a point system and making sure that you're celebrating the wins. You've got to, our brains are naturally wired to find what's wrong all the time because of our defensive strategies. That drastically changes as you let go of the reins of the defensive strategies that you can't do cognitively, you must do emotionally through the work and the action, right? But basically, when you do that, you free up your ability to really celebrate your wins and see yourself as the truth of who you are. And, having a point system there, as long as you make sure that you're consciously using it in a very positive, rewarding way and not another tool that's allowing yourself to see what's wrong, to see how you're going to judge yourself and criticize yourself and bring yourself down and, all the rest of it, making sure that you're consciously using it in a really healthy way is brilliant. But just know and have some compassion for yourself that the reason why you might fall in the trap of sabotaging yourself is because it's just pointing you and alerting you to the defensive strategies that you need to do some healing work on. And that's what I'm here for, right? This is the work that I love doing, is setting you free towards your fulfillment that's tailored to you and getting out of the rat race of the one size fits all hamster wheel of personal development, feeling like you're expending so much energy but not really getting anywhere. You've got to take some risk. You've got to get out of just reading books, and you've got to get out of just taking courses, and you've got to be willing to do the stuff that you probably most don't want to do. But remember, it's like ripping off a band-aid, or it's maybe not ripping off the band-aid, it's mainly like doing the proper healing so that it's not you're just covering it up with a Band-Aid and another Band-Aid, another Band-Aid, and it gets prodded and poked and it's still raw, right? And it's not healing. Instead, we're going to take the time to heal it in the best way possible. We've got to do the surgery, whatever has to happen, so that now you get to live the rest of your life free from that pain. All right, instead of just trying to momentarily avoid it or, stick another Band-Aid that's not doing anything onto it, right? So I love the share, Samuel. Thank you so much for showing up, and I love that you're doing that, and hope what I shared was of value to you. Awesome. And Celine, oh my gosh, so good to see you. Hey, my beautiful little sister, can't believe I'm catching you live. Looking forward to the replay and seeing you soon. Sending you a big hug from my Irish sister. I love it. So much love coming your way, beautiful soul, and so grateful that you could catch me live today. You're up late. Love it. And Joshua's here as well. And Pete, thank you for your response, but I'm actually in the reverse situation than yours. I'm intrigued to learn more. I'll send you an email. Awesome, Pete. I can't wait to hear more about your personal journey, right? Because that's what we want to get to. I can't wait to connect with you. So definitely send me that email. For all of you other guys who want to take me up on this very special only once offer with this discounted rate that I'm offering for action takers only, who are ready to take their lives to the next level and be free from this stuff once and for all, and get your own tailored, personalized approach to personal development, then you can send me an email at vanessa@vanessajanepatrick.com. We'll jump on a call. I'll share it with you. We'll have a conversation. We'll see if it's a good fit, and then we can hit the ground running. So can't wait to hear from you there, Pete. And Jerry, yep, Samuel, great words. Love it, my friend. Great that was of value to you. And my beautiful Celine, completely agree, Pet. You so helped me see the light and to follow my intuition. So excited for what's to come. Couldn't recommend Vanessa Jane Patrick as a coach highly enough. Oh, thank you so much, gorgeous soul. That means the world to me. And thank you so much for the opportunity that you give me to share in your amazing journey and support you in any way that I can. So much love for you. And so much love for each and every one of you guys who were able to join me live today. I so appreciate it. I love your questions. Thank you for your contributions, your sharing of your personal journey and what you're using and what your tools are, and just co-creating this space with me. I have so much love for each and every one of you. And Like I said, if you want to take me up on that offer, shoot me that email, vanessa@vanessajanepatrick.com. I know it's a really long one, but promise it'll be worth it. And definitely my reminder to each and every one of you guys is to make sure that you're going out there and you are honoring your authenticity, you're deepening your intimacy, and you're contributing meaningfully and purposefully. So much love, and I can't wait to see you guys very, very soon.